Right, welcome to FGMO TV, and today's guest, he's no introduction, but he's going to get one anyway. So, celebrating 40 years with Quo and the 25th anniversary of his debut solo album, Rhino's Revenge, which has just been remastered and re-released, including for the first time on vinyl. Please welcome Mr. John Rhino Edwards.
Whoopee! Nice to be here. It is.
Yeah.
Very nice.
How are you doing, John? You all right?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yeah, it's yeah. Show that. Not. It's a shame the magazine's gone, but this is very This is really good. What you're doing.
We can do it more spontaneously and more. We can get straight out. I suppose more direct as well.
And it's a bit more It's a bit more in depth.
Yeah. I suppose the first question then.
Very in depth.
I suppose the first question that I'd ask is, about Rhino's Revenge. It's just a simple one, really. Why? Why did it happen?
I wrote a song called Julia, and it's a real dad. It was real, very psychedelic actually, and it was great. I loved it, but I played it to Mike Paxman, and I just said, well, there's no point in putting this in for Quo. Even though Quo has been become a bit more of a broad church, I knew it would never have got through. So I said to Mike, what should we do? And he said, well, why not make an EP? Which you could do at the time, 4 tracks, blah, blah, blah. And it just ended up turning into an album. I mean, it took me a long time to write the songs, but I was only saying to my wife today, I wrote a lot of those songs. I have Colin Firth to thank for. Because when Pride and Prejudice was on the TV, in common with most of the other women in the country, my missus was looking at Pride and Prejudice. So I got to go down the studio on a Sunday night after the kids were in bed, and I just sit down in the room I'm in now and spank my plank, so to speak. And sometimes something came out, and Songwriting, the inspiration is and the perspiration, but there's more perspiration than inspiration in where I do it. And I get the inspiration down here, and then I spend 6 months thinking about what the rest of it was going to be.
I come awake when I was asleep at night. That's when I see the girl and hold her tight. I see you in my dreams, and there we play. 'Cause everybody needs a fantasy world. For every boy there is a fantasy girl. And anybody needs some time in the world. Julia, how I want her, Julia. I was thinking of her, Julia. I'm a fool for you, and I don't care.
So that was a track that you recorded early on, a demo that didn't have a home effectively at that point.
Yeah.
So that then blossomed into the from the 4-track EP into the full Rhino's Revenge album. So, what was your memories of actually recording the album?
Well, I've got loads. Basically, we put it down the drum machine, then I put bass. I played all the rhythm guitars as well, so we had to layer it. And that was over a period of time. It was all recorded at Judy's Look Studio, and so we were not using downtime, but if Judy wasn't using it, we'd go in for a few days.
Yeah.
And I remember very well that we were. I'd run out of money basically because it was a fun project, and I had other things to spend money on. And I said to Judy one day, I'm going to have to take a break of this. I can't afford any more time for a while. She just said, John, your family, don't even worry about it. I've never, it's a rare thing in the music business, a random act of kindness. And funnily enough, I've just played on their album. I just did 4 tracks on their album.
All right, cool.
I don't know what it's called.
Because Judy's on the Rhino's Revenge album, isn't she?
That's right. Yeah, well, it was on her studio. So she's on a song called "Get a Life," but and it was the recording side of it was very, very, very fun. Myself and Mike would have a few spliffs in the afternoon. I'd come in with an afternoon, and then we would go off and have. It was a liter of wine, an omelette and chips, or steak and chips. A place called Cafe Rouge, which is no longer with us. But then we come back, make a complete balls up of it all. Then I come in the next morning and we do it bang straight away. But and then we just decided we had to get people on it. So I asked Charlie Morgan to do it. It was just not just I was in Charlie's first ever band, and he's gone on to be a sort of megastar session player. And Steve Bird was the guitar player, who is still the best guitar player I've ever played with in the rock vein as opposed to the boogie vein. And Charlie came down one day and he talked about cars for 3 hours, and I hate cars. I was bored shitless. And he said, "Oh, well, come on, we better crack on." And he got a drums down in 10 minutes and he did 6 tracks in 3 hours. And I said, "Surely you must have learned those songs. Must have taken you ages." He said, "No, I just listened to them in the car on the way down." It's just, some people have got that kind of computer memory. But then Steve Bird came in and played on a track called The Space Maker. And he did the most amazing solo on a track called Don't Come Around Here No More. There's a track at the end, and it's just blasted. He was an amazing player who had a lot of issues, and Steve died when he was about 63 or 64, but he was it was a real loss.
We better keep moving on. 'Cause if I see your face, I'm gonna put you down, 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 yeah.
Anyway, that was great. My son Freddie's on it. He's on The Space Maker. Yeah, but he thought it was like that.
How old was Freddie then when he was on this?
7.
Jeez.
It was 7. No, we just, funny enough, you wouldn't edit this anyway, but we've just been to pick up. Jeff Rich gave me a load of York Stone from his house, and we've just been to pick it up in this van. Oh boy, so we came back and this van was so heavy, we did about 20 miles an hour. That's a way bit. But then we came in and I'd had this idea for Freddie to do that. He does here. Don't forget, and it's actually quite a deep thing, really. I think that he said.
Yeah.
Well, that I wrote, so I would think it's deep. But and then we have Matthew Letley on 2 tracks, who wasn't in Quo at the time, I don't believe. No, it was around about the time of the changeover. I don't think he was actually.
So this came out about 6 months after Famous in the Last Century, which was the last album he played on.
Yeah, I don't think Matthew was in Quay then.
Yeah.
And he played on Spend and Republican. And he came down in his usual meek self, sat behind the kit, and they went, "Ah!" Which Matthew used to do back in the day. He was the right animal, Matt was.
Yeah.
And then that's not why he got in the Quo band though. He's just got in the Quo band because Jeff went, and we just did it with someone else, and it was one phone call, and you first don't stay this Quo band? Yeah, all right.
So in terms of recording this album, the Rhino's Revenge album, was that recorded after Mike had done Under the Influence with Quo in sort of like mid 98 or before?
It was during, I mean, as I said, this was it was just when I had some free time, and we did the songs. I mean, I'm not the fastest songwriter. It took a long time to get the 11 and a bit songs that are on there. It took a long time to write. I mean, not some of them on other albums, but yeah, I mean, it's really weird how some songs work out. I'm looking at a song called Shame. I've never done it before since I wrote the whole thing in 20 minutes, lyrics and everything. Just came to something my brother-in-law said about somebody. He just said, "That girl close her bloody lips, open her mind." And they used to live next door. I said, "I'll be back in a minute." I was back in half an hour and I'd completely written the song. Lyrics, the whole bit, yeah. It was weird.
Such a shame, shame, shame. She ain't to blame, blame, blame.
That's one of the songs I was going to ask you about because it's, you know, it's very different in style to a Quo record. It's very different in content really because there's quite a bit of what I'd say was a diverse album, but it's got a social commentary on it and there's political stuff on it that Quo probably wouldn't go near. Things like shame,
Yeah.
spend, Republican. You know,
Well, very kind. You've obviously listened to it, Paul. I'm very impressed. I'm not really facetious. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's got this is a vehicle for me to sound off. I mean, I wrote a song which on a later album called The PC World, and that's probably the most this, if you will, no,
Mm.
it's the most statement song I've ever written about what I feel angry about sometimes.
Yeah. So, would you have presented any of those songs to Quo to record, or would you have automatically just assumed, you know, they wouldn't get past?
Just do a lot. It's all wrong. I mean, it's heavier, funnily enough. I think like there's a track Jungle Love. You know, that's banging, but it's banging and more not in the Quo way of always having an amazing melody on it. You know, they bang it, start giving it that, but there's always this great melody on the top. Mine was a bit more of a shout.
I want jungle love. She said,
No, there's none really, and they wouldn't go for the political stuff. They'd be too afraid actually. You know, they like things to be. I know what some songs were about, and they're very much very couched in terms. I think is the expression.
In terms of the recording of the album, then did you say it was laid and built off the demos rather than tracking the live?
There's nobody playing live.
Okay.
No, there's a lot of the backing vocals were done live. Like there's a couple. Well, which is one? Actually, not that many backing, but Get a Life. That was the one that had backing vocals. Had about 6 people singing the backing vocals on that, and I know I actually employed a backing vocalist on this, a guy called John Savannah. He did things like I'm a Rocker, Don't Come Around Here No More. Yeah, and he did. I mean, he was great as well. He was in a band. You might know. He was called Don Snow at the time. They had a record called Take Me to Your Leader. Take Me to Your Leader. Not the Vizillo, something like that. Anyway, he was really good. He played some keyboards as well. Andrew Bounds on keyboards. Francis, he played an amazing guitar line on Spend. Really brilliant. You know, I mean, it's great when you hear people, you ask people to do things for you because of what they do. And they do what they do. And you go, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Even though I didn't expect to hear it. You know, it was like, what? And then, oh yeah, that's great. I love it.
So did you, when you got the guys in, so when you obviously got Francis in and you got Rick in?
I went to Francis's house for that. Francis doesn't go anywhere. Which is fair. Well, he said on tour, you know, but I mean, he doesn't, he's a home bird.
So did you have an idea of what you wanted, or did you just sort of say to like Sir Francis, Rick and Andrew?
I went over there with Mike, and he just said, play what you like. And he did, and it was like, I think, knowing Francis, he'd probably thought about it before. You know, I mean, he does, and it was brilliant. I mean, it was super duper.
Yeah. You mentioned the song there called Get a Life. Seems to be a bit of a message song.
It's about Rick.
Like a bit of an open letter.
It's about Rick. Who else?
I was going to say, yeah.
What could it be? You know, I mean, well, when he had his bypass, he was living in Teddington, and he used to come round. We went out cycling. I took it, and I not took him under my wing, but I did. We went cycling, and I started to do a lot. And I said, right, I get this 15-mile circuit. I said, right, you can do it on your own. I said, what? I'm not doing it on my own. No, I'm trying to help you. And no, he just wouldn't. He wouldn't help himself. And he missed out. So, I mean, I love Victor bits. Please don't get me wrong. I really do. And I always will. But he missed out on a lot of things, I think, which are there for one and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about Rick, and I just feel that he, in order to be a rock star, he missed out on a lot of stuff. But then, as I'm not a rock star, and I've never have been, I would like to be one, but I don't. I think if I was one, I still make the most of what was around.
Okay.
You know, we live once.
Do you think he knew it was about him?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think he'd been bothered anyway. No, I mean, they're all about different things. I mean, the Spacemaker is about a rubbish container. I've written loads of that. I do all it and I didn't have a title for the song, and it was really pissing me off. And I looked down my studio, and there's a little bin called the Spacemaker. There you go. Give it out for the Spacemaker. I mean, it's really funny how things come to pass.
There's another track on there that I just really got a soft spot for that I like, and it's what you said before about 11 and a half tracks, or 11 and a bit tracks. The one that's Two Sons.
Oh yeah.
Well, in terms of the sort of like the sound and the vibe of that one, is that something that you do more of, that experimental stuff? You know, how long is that track? 'Cause it fades out quite quickly.
Oh, Two Sons. It's only about 3 minutes. It's pieces of music I wrote with my sons in mind. The first I wrote just looking at Max when he was tiny. And it just, I was watching Freddie, so I don't know what he was doing. He was in the garden or something. And I have to say that the second bit of it, that's a really difficult thing to play. I must say, that's one of my, especially in one go. I mean, you know, I'm a fan of bass playing. You know, I really like a good bass player. I mean, yeah, it's like, yeah. But anyway, and then I don't think it's on me. I don't know. There's a little thing that I did at the end of Get a Life called Mayflower, and that's on the CD, and that was a bit about May, and that's me being silly. But I'm not sure if it actually got on the album, which I haven't actually played yet because I've been too busy looking at it. Oh my god, it wasn't working like this. Oh, and only 300 copies. Oh gosh, must go selling fast.
What number's yours?
Mine's number 4. Shows that when it's sold, you probably got number 3.
I think
No,
I'm 30,
I mean,
32, man is.
it's come up really well. I mean, Mike Paxman did the most brilliant job, as he always does. It's from the original artwork, which you know, back in the day when it was all gas powered. I mean, and he managed. I mean, I'm sure Andy will know this more than me or you, but you know how you blow it up and keep it all keep it all clear and give it, you know, without it looking, and yeah, I mean, look at that. The young me, ladies and gentlemen, the young me. That's me now. Um, and I like that little thing there about Beth. I'll put that on the bottom. Yeah, well, she, you know, she just came up to me or wrote to me and said, "Hello, Rhino. You don't know me. I've designed a logo for you. See what you think." And we just, and you know, myself and Mike Carano, my long-suffering manager, the old mid-siblings Mike, he yeah, he said that we should use that, and there it is. Look, there it is. See, mortality. That was the story during that, you know, doing the cover. We had this nut job photographer, and there was him, me, and Paxo, and we went off to Finsbury Park, and he was basically in an abandoned railway line, and he's letting off flares. And I'm giving it all, I'm pulling all these shapes, and there's all these kids watching from the top. And after about 20 minutes, we hear all these sirens, and there's a police helicopter overhead. Time to go. I think they thought there was something really kicking off. I mean, I like to think it was, but it was, yeah, I mean, in fact, on the cover, you can actually see it more because if that's actually in a tunnel, although it doesn't look, sorry, I will do that, although it doesn't look like it. That's actually the walls of this used tunnel. Oh, that was a brilliant day. I mean, I've been very fortunate to have so many brilliant days. You know, and the second album I did was with my kids. I mean, how magic is that? You know, that's probably my most magical musical experience ever. You
Mm.
know,
So I'm
the
just gonna
engineer said to me one time, he said, "I never thought I'd someone say, Dad, what do you reckon on that drum fill?"
So
You know.
in terms of the albums you've done, obviously that's the first album that you put out, and there's just the other two solo albums that you've got. Which is the one that means the most to you? Which is your favourite out of the three of them?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's up to, you know. I mean, I like them all. I wouldn't have put them out if I didn't. There's very few tracks that I wouldn't play live. The other thing about my stuff, by the way, is why it's got more popular with the Quay fans, is that it's a bit deep, some of it. I mean, and I'm not slagging on Quay fans in the slightest. But if you would put on a Quay album, you want to feel uplifted by it, and you want to give it a bit of neck and all that, you know, and it can wash over you a lot easier than mine. Plus the fact that I can't sing the same fucking height, uh, which doesn't help matters. But there you go. You know,
I
I
think the lyrics are a bit more direct. You know, the lyrics are more
mine
on yours. Yeah,
means something.
you can read into them. You can sit and get them, and look at it, and you know what it's about. So, like I knew that Get a Life was about Rick
Yeah,
without knowing it was about. You look at it and you see, I know where that's coming from.
yeah.
You gotta get a life and move on up. Walk into a better day. Just get a life and move on up. Or I just don't care to see you no more. I'm telling you so you know the score. Okay.
Another question.
Go on then. I'm here.
Have you considered playing this album in full then, as a bit of a celebration?
Nah, too much work, not enough interest.
Okay.
If I was doing 5 nights at Amazon Park with Apollo, I'll be thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm doing 5 nights at Abercrombie Station. And I'm cleaning windows. Yeah. No, it's not. I don't know. I can still sing it actually. I can still sing all those. Yeah. Yeah. No.
You play quite a few of them when you're gigging with Rhino's Revenge.
Oh yeah, that was fucking awful, that band. That. I really couldn't sing then. I really couldn't sing. I only
Mm.
really can't sing now. You know, I've done. I'm half as bad. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I can perform. You know,
Mm.
I can put myself into a song, and I don't actually give a shit, which is what you've got to do
Yeah.
if you're singing. I think you've not. You know, you mustn't worry about what it's going to sound like later on. You just got to really be there for the moment when you're singing.
I think you're being a bit harsh on yourself.
Oh,
but what are your thoughts on the new master? So the new remaster that Mike's done compared to the original?
well, it's going to sound better. You know, I mean, it's obviously going to sound better. It's got more bottom end on it, which is never a bad thing in my book. I mean, mastering is a difficult thing for me. I'm not that keen on it, to be honest. But then, you know, it's another reason for doing it. It makes it a special edition, and you know, I am so flattered and honoured that people are prepared to put in their time to do projects of mine. You know, Mike Carano, Mike Paxman, I can't tell you, they just do, you know.
The three albums are good. There's great songs on them. They're diverse. There's a lot of different textures on the albums. You know, they're good albums. They've got good songs
Yeah,
on the albums.
I would think so. I mean, I really would be thinking about, and that's another good thing about Paxar, you know, when it's going well, it'll just sit there. And when it's not going well, it's like, what about that? And he's always got that thing. There's a track on my new album called Limbo, which I really like that. And I left a bit. I came back, and he said, "What do you think?" And he just played it, and he put this piano part in. It's just, oh, wow. You know, there's another track called "Taking Care of Mary," and he put in this middle bit in it. And when I what? Really? He said, "If you don't like it, I won't do it." You know. But he said he'd tear his own head off as well if we didn't do it.
I think Taking Care of Mary is the best of the solo tracks that you've done.
All of them. No, well, I mean, all the albums. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, there you go. I mean, it's. I love the lyrics. It made me cry when I wrote it,
Yeah.
even though I was in the caravan.
We're right behind you. You're just the first to show. We're taking care of Mary. I thought you should know. See you later. The river must flow. We're taking care of Mary. You're good to go.
I wrote it in my caravan, and he'd been dead a while. But it's just yes. You've probably heard. I think I've told you the story, but it's just so yeah. It was just such a good argument. You know, some people they're just unassuming, quiet. They go through a very quiet life. He had 6 kids. That was his life, and he died, and that was that. But it was it's one of the toughest blokes you'll ever meet. You know, well, you won't meet him, but he was one of the greatest people I ever met. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't mind someone covering that actually. I'd like to do someone else singing that. Oh, what's this? Oh my god. Look at this. A book is just open to view. Oh, there's a handsome chap on the front. Who's that? Oh, that's the Rhino. Sorry. Yeah.
So I was going to say, so obviously, since Crow came off the road, you've not been sat idle. You've been pretty busy. So do you want to bring everyone up to speed on what you've been up to and what you've been doing?
As I've just shamefully done this, I'm going to tell you about this. It's it was written. It was done for. I got a phone call from a guy called Greg Harper, who's a professor of music up north somewhere, and he'd been a fan of mine playing since Judy Zook. I mean, I do have. I don't know if I had anymore. I did have a certain cachet, if you will, amongst the bass player fraternity. You know, I'm no slouch when it comes to it. I mean, if I was, I wouldn't be sitting talking to you now. But anyway, he said, "Would you like me to do some transcriptions, but like proper transcriptions, like the music, the notes of some of your songs?" And I said, after I sort of picked myself up off the floor and told him he needed to check himself into a psychiatric hospital straight away. He did that, but then it really sort of came on a bit, and I said, "Well, why don't I?" So I wrote why I wrote the songs. It's all Rhino's Revenge stuff, which I was very flattered about actually, because you know he's a bigger fan of this than he is of Quo, which is very nice. There's 2 of them, and anyway, I did. I did a lot of I did a big interview with him as well, and about my career, about the bass. It's actually, and we've only printed 200,000, and we've printed 100, and I think when it's done, it won't be any more. But that's on the web. That's on my website, rhinosrevenge.com, ladies and gentlemen. 25 vouchers well spent, I can assure you.
So is there anything else you don't know about yet that you've been involved in or you're planning for now and for the future?
I've just been doing Rhino's gigs. I'm playing with a band called Blue Water Giants, which is myself, my son Freddie, the keyboard player from Procol Harum, Neil Taylor, the guitar player, who's played with just about everybody, and we've just recruited Mel Gaynor from Simple Minds on the drums. And the Blue Water Giants, we basically only play yacht clubs. If they came into any private do so, maybe see the likes of you there. Oh. No, and we just already showed it. Well, wasn't really. No,
We want to get to that. We want to see the Blue Waters.
well, we do. No, we're doing a few things later on in the year that I think are. We're doing the equivalent of Car Fest. That's been taken over by someone else. I know we're on that. But we basically do songs that we've got an association with. So we do a few Quo songs. Neil, the guitar player, is playing everybody, and he's him playing the guitar solo, and Everybody Wants to Rule the World. He's on all the Robbie Williams hits. That's him on the guitar. Flying Fisher, we even done Love Changes. Yeah, Josh, the keyboard player from Procol Harum, who also nicely for him, wrote the music for Strictly Come Dancing. Lend me $5,000, not a $5. I mean, that's a Hardy perennial. Because wherever they sell it, they have to use that music. Good on him. He's a funny guy. He played with everyone as well.
So what are your future projects then? Is there going to be a Rhino's Revenge 4?
I'd like to think so, but I've kind of lost the mojo. I mean, you can only... I put it like this, I wrote a song on my last album, but just my solo album, I just say it, about a flower, about an primrose, and that's that's not many people know what evening primrose is. Do you know what it is?
Evening primrose.
You know what it is?
I thought it was a flower.
It is, but you know what it does?
No.
Fucking awesome. In the summer months, you see on YouTube, as dusk goes, there's this yellow flower, and you'll see it, and it will just go over a period of about 10 seconds. It just comes out. It's one of nature's absolute miracles. It's an incredible thing. And then it's dead by the morning. And the next day, another one comes. It's unbelievable. Anyway, you can imagine. Sitting on the car. Good evening, Primrose. And that's, it's nice to write a mellow song.
Good evening, Primrose. It's been ages. I've written hundreds of pages of love letters to you. I open up the windows, you're back and waiting for me. I'm making double sure we know that I'll be true. I don't know how she does it, but she's different and the same. Stays until the morning, then she's gone, but that's the game.
I don't want to retread stuff. I don't want to write the same old shit. I just don't. So I've actually toyed with doing a punk album, funny enough. I do like I like the noise. It's lyrics, I've got to get the lyrics. The music is, it's difficult. But on my last album again, I had a lyric on my song Limbo. It says, I know where I don't stand with you. And I thought of that in 1992. I know it was then, and I just kept it in my head. So, and we find a home for things in the end.
So if there's no immediate plans for the Rhino's Revenge 4th album,
no, ruined though.
What are your touring plans? What other projects have you got for 2026?
I've not a lot at the moment. I've got another project, but I'm not going to say anything about it yet because it's not come to fruition. I haven't found the right. I haven't done enough like-minded people, but I will. But at the moment, I've got I'm doing Rhino's Revenge on the I believe the 16th, 17th, and 18th of May. We're doing the Half Moon in London. It's Sheffield on the Saturday, Half Moon on Sunday, and a place called the Cricket Billet out in Stoke Row, which I play because the food is incredible.
So if anyone wants to get hold of a copy of the book or get hold of a copy of the album on vinyl or CD, where do they go to get it?
For this one, they go to rhinosrevenge.com. And for this one, they go to rhinosrevenge.com. Okay?
Super.
Rate your piggy banks. Remember, kids, if your parents don't buy them, they don't love you.
John, thanks so much for your time, and good luck with the album, good luck with the book, and we'll see you out there soon.
Thanks for putting up with me.
Cheers, John.
So take your partner by